Hi guys, this is Tablet-News.com and I'm here with the review of the Samsung Galaxy Tab 2 7.0. This is a 7-inch tablet. We've already reviewed the Samsung Galaxy Tab 2 10.1 and this is its smaller brother. It has pretty much the same specs but with a lower diagonal, as you can see right here. Okay, so first things first, this model you can get for $249 in the USA, so it's a very good bargain. It's actually a pretty affordable device and it comes in black or white. We have the black unit for testing, as you can see right here. Here's the back side and we're going to talk about the design. First, you must know that this device is available in 8, 16 or 32 gigabytes version, and as I said, black and white. You can always feel free to check out the review of the Galaxy Tab 2 10.1 if you want the bigger version. So this model was announced in early 2012 and it feels like a big phone. Also, it should feel like a big phone since it has a phone feature right here. You can call people using this 7-inch tablet. And now let's move on to the design. On the front side we have this 7-inch display, logo right here, and the whole format of the tablet feels once again like a big phone. So considering this is a big phone, at the bottom we have the connector, the proprietary Samsung connector, dual stereo speakers right here, and on the right side we have the volume button and on off button right here. At the top we have the audio jack, and on the left side we have a bunch of stuff. First of all, we have the SIM slot, since this is our 3G tablet. Here you insert the SIM, and here you have the micro SD card slot right here. My objection is that these ports don't close up well, those leads are not perfect. Okay, and now at the back we have the 3 megapixel camera, logo, and that's about it. This is a plasticky device. It feels pretty light and also resilient at the same time, but it doesn't feel flimsy, which is a good thing. At the front we also have an earpiece of sorts right here and the front camera. Other things worth mentioning is that the tablet sits well in the user's hand since it's a 7-incher, very easy to hold with a single hand as I'm doing right now. So if you want to read a book and flip 2 pages, it's very easy to do that in portrait or landscape mode with a single hand on this 7-inch tablet. If you want size and figures, it measures 10.5 millimeters in thickness, so it's actually pretty thick for such a small model, and it weighs 344 grams, so very light. This display, it's a PLS LCD 7-inch unit with a resolution of 1024 over 600 pixels. It also has stereo speakers, as I already said, and it can reach HSDPA connectivity of 21 megabytes per second, which is a great performance for a tablet. It also has Wi-Fi and DLNA, Bluetooth 3.0, and one more thing, it has infrared, so if you want to control gadgets using this tablet as a remote, you may as well do that without problems. The brain of the tablet is Texas Instruments OMAP 4430 dual-core CPU, 1 GHz, and you get a GPU that's a PowerVR SGX 540. Those are the same specs as the bigger Galaxy Tab 2, in case you're wondering. There's also an accelerometer, gyroscope, compass, GPS and GLONASS, pretty common features nowadays. The battery inside this gizmo is a 4000 mAh unit, good enough for 7-8 hours of use, if you ask me. So as I said, this device has a phone feature, so if you tap this, you'll enter the phone area, you can dial numbers, start calling people, you have here the logs, you have here your favorites number, and you can easily call people. You can also do video calls, you can also send a text if you want to, so as if you're using a phone but only bigger, and I recommend using a headset so you won't look ridiculous. This tablet runs Android version 4.0.3, so ice cream sandwich, and as you can see it's customized with a screenshot button next to the multitasking area. So you multitask like this, you do swiping and you press this one to do a screenshot. Here we go. Okay, and now let me just show you the browser area and the virtual keyboard on this tablet. So I'm going to enter the internet browser and access Tablet-News.com. So let's try to find the symbols. Okay, here we are, Tablet-News.com. It's loading pretty fast. We're on a Wi-Fi connection, but we also have mobile data since we have one Orange SIM inside. So here is our website. Pinch to zoom, works just fine. Let's try to read some text on the 7-inch screen. Pretty easy to do that. Let's see some of the options of the browser. You can open a new tab, an incognito tab, find in page. There's also a settings option, accessibility, advanced, bandwidth, labs, and all that. Okay, so you saw the browser and the virtual keyboard. That's pretty comfy and has a row of numeric keys. And now let's move on to the performance of this 7-inch tablet. And in order to analyze that, I have done some benchmarks and I have saved the screenshots in a special folder. So let's check that out, see what's happening here. So let's go to portrait mode. Here we are. This is my score in quadrant. It achieved 2695. Let's compare that to the Galaxy Tab 2 10.1. Well, that one scored 2647, so it's pretty close. And if you want to compare it with the device from last year, let's compare it with the Galaxy Tab 7.7 that scored 1947, so this is superior. And I thought it was interesting to compare this with the Motorola Zoom 2 8.2-inch edition that only scored 1600 in quadrant, so it's inferior. So this model is actually superior to the models I mentioned earlier. In Antutu we scored 5000. That's half of the HTC One X, in case you're wondering, and that's about the same amount of points as the Galaxy Tab 2 10.1, and as I said, half of the Galaxy S3, HTC One S, and all the modern phones if you want a comparison. In Velamo we scored a very little bit, 887 compared to the 900 of the Galaxy Tab 2 10.1 and the 1020 of the Galaxy Tab 7.7. And finally, there's this Nenamark test. We scored 26.3 frames per second. Well, actually this one is superior to the Galaxy Tab 2 10.1 that has the disadvantage of moving more pixels on that resolution. And it's also superior to the Motorola Zoom 2 8.2-inch that only scored 19 frames per second. So not a bad product when it comes to performance, but it's the day-to-day use that matters, not the benchmarks, although it handles them pretty well for a 7-inch cheap tablet, that is. Okay, now it's time for the media. You know what's coming. So let's just access the music player, listen to some music, and hear the dual speakers on this device in action. So let's find a song that sounds nice. Let's see. Let me just go to the widget and show you this song. This was one that I was playing earlier. So let's turn up the volume.
Keep this fire alive. Set them free and let them fly tonight. Want it down and get them high tonight.
You can see here the options. You can give some extra bass. So those speakers are pretty good. Okay, so you heard the audio experience. Very good volume for this tablet. It surpasses many other tablets, to be frank. And now let's show you some video playback on this 7-inch slate. I'm going to go with this movie. It has a lot of interesting effects. Aerial combat.
Hundreds of them, 6 o'clock. It's got German marking. Let's get them. Where are the damn fighters going? Is there anything left of our escort? Mayday! Mayday! Prepare to bail out!
Now let's change the viewing angle. Let's go like this. it's wider, and you have those two bands, the black bands, that allow you for more clear experience.
Who will put the bombers ahead of themselves.
When we came under your command, Colonel, you stated very clearly.
Let's go forward to see some more effects.
From the last plane to the left. Fighters, 4 o'clock. Stay with the bombers.
One bomber, that's 10 men. We count our victories. By the bombers, we get to their targets.
Okay, so video playback is also good. The display is crisp, the colors are vibrant, and you can tweak the brightness from this settings area right here. Okay, so now let's show you the camera. That's the usual procedure in our reviews. Here it is, camera. This is a 3.15 megapixel camera with geotagging, and I'm going to take a shot right now of this little globe. Here we are. I'm zooming in. It's pretty moved, but we're indoors and a 3 megapixel camera can only do as much. Now let's see some of the effects. So we have self-portrait, photograph mode. Here you can find the panorama mode. We have scene modes right here: night, sport, sunset, fireworks, candlelight. There's also some effects like black and white, sepia, negative. There's the geotagging, there's the exposure, some effects you can add, black and white and sepia, and the timer. And as far as video capture goes, there's 720p video capture that you can do in this mode. Here it is. Not much to be said about the camera, it's pretty decent, but since it doesn't have a flash, there's not much you can do with this 3.15 megapixel sensor. And you must know that at the front we have a VGA camera for video calls, in case you want to do that using this tablet. Well, at least it has the panorama mode. Okay, now let's get back to the analysis of the device. As you can see, we have multitasking, we have the app section right here next to the widget ones. So the Android experience is here, plus the standard custom Samsung widgets, those that are integrated in the TouchWiz interface. And there's obviously this mini tray app area at the bottom, these apps that stay right here, and if you open one of them, it stays permanently on the screen and you can move it around as you please. And that's just an example. I can do that as well with a calculator, messaging app, and other stuff like that. I can continue doing my activities in the background and then move this around as I want, thanks to that mini tray app. So you can see some of the widgets right here. This is the music widget, this is the weather widget, but I guess you're used to them. So I guess that now we're gonna go to the apps section. Here you can see that we have all share, taking care of the streaming business, chat on if you want to chat with other Samsung customers. There's a video and photo editor that you've seen a million times on other Samsung devices. Obviously there's Game Hub. It's a mere link to some games in the Google Play Store, nothing big as usual. And aside from Game Hub, we also have the Google Maps that can't be missing from any modern Android device. So let's go like this. Tomorrow we're going to expect an update at Google I/O, so stay close to see that update. In the meantime, this is what you get. This is the current Google Maps. Okay, you also get Google Play Store, obviously. There's a music hub where you can get to spend some money on your music, unless you listen to your music on YouTube. It takes a while to load, this one. You can see here the favorite artists. Let's try to swipe, unless it's blocked. Seems to be blocked. The music hub. Now here are the genres: pop, rock, alternative, electronic, R&B, popular artists, and who wants a hub that blocks. Okay, we also have a note app, so you can start taking notes easily. You write them down. You can also add some pictures if you want, and that's about it when it comes to the special apps of this tablet. There's also Polaris Office, and there's also Reader's Hub. I'm sure you're familiar with that one. It offers you newspapers, magazines, and books. and I've shown you that on probably 5 Samsung Galaxy Tab models before. Okay, well, so that's about it. This is what the tablet has to offer when it comes to the multimedia features, e-reading, web browsing and other normal activities. Of course, widgets are resizable. If you want to know stuff like that, you can change their size easily, but I guess you expected that. And we also have an app called S Planner that has been very famous recently because it's a very evolved calendar of sorts. Now let me find it. Here it is, the S Planner. So you can plan your life as if you have a special diary with you. You can create a bunch of calendars, add events with complex settings, take the time where they take place, the place where they're situated on the maps, memento, participants and other stuff for the S Planner. Okay, and I must mention in the end that this is 90% the same thing as the Samsung Galaxy Tab 2 10.1, only in a smaller version. And now it's time for the conclusion. What I think is best about this tablet? Well, on the plus side we have the price. It's very cheap at $249 in USA. It's got 3G, or at least our version does. You can see the slot right here. Also, it's a very light tablet, very portable, very easy to use with one hand. Also, it has a phone feature, which I find to be a good thing, and it's comfy to use. Those are the plus things. On the downside, well, I must mention the lack of camera flash, if you really care about that. Also, the screen is very glossy, and those port lids are pretty flimsy and they don't close up the way they should. Also, the plastic case makes it feel a bit cheap and unsteady. The battery life is a bit disappointing. I was expecting more than 7-8 hours, and the CPU is pretty antique if you ask me. I would have wanted maybe a quad-core cheaper unit, but that's just me saying it. Okay, so now for the final grades. For design, the Samsung Galaxy Tab 2 7.0 gets an 8 out of 10, and for hardware 7 out of 10, and for operating system and interface 7 out of 10. Total is 7.33 out of 10 from Tablet-News.com. We thank you for watching us and be back for more reviews in the following days, more tablets right here on Tablet-News.com. Bye bye.